it was just, voice in the back of my head. And then the New Zealand one was just get the job done. And it was also a bit of a blur.
You guys still wouldn't have seen me if we lost to Mr. Owen Farrell. I would have been way off the spectrum still. I would still be in recovery mode. So thank God for that from my perspective. But yeah, we'll get into the final a bit later, because obviously there's still murmurings coming out of the final, since what decisions were made and how they were made, and Barnsley straight out of retirement into TV shows and talk shows and giving us his feelings. So we'll touch on that a bit later. But yeah. And obviously Rassie, because he's back, he's still there and in a bigger capacity. So yeah, we'll touch on all that. But yeah, just to recap for us as Boks supporters, of course, I'm still in shock, because everything that France has bitched about, England have bitched about, New Zealand have bitched about, is I ultimately really believe one of those games will be on the other side of that. And I don't know how on earth we've escaped. We had these luck of the draws, couple World Cups, and now we've had the luck of the refs but calls. Basically, I know I hate the word luck, but it's so opposite. The journeys the last two World Cups have taken. So, but yeah, let's hit on to the URC, and Ron, we're gonna have to throw it out to you. Your boys, your man have finally got it over the line there against Scarlets. I was watching that game. It was actually quite a fun game to watch. They were behind. Yeah, what do you make of it? It was well played to come out there, get that win, well deserved, eh?
As always, South African teams and their scrum, that's what won it for us. We were, I was actually streaming that game, live streaming it, and it just looked like Lions' discipline was the issue. We couldn't keep our discipline. We were giving away penalties constantly. We always looked to me like the better side. We just couldn't get our hands on the ball, and we were on the wrong side of the ref the whole night long. But luckily, right at the end, Sanene Nohamba, he's been so good for us in some of these pressure games, just to come up with the plays that are needed. He seems like a nice little
last year, by the way.
Yeah. Nohamba and Marius Lowe as well in the centers. Yeah. The two of them have just brought, when they're on the park together, you feel like, okay, there's always a chance. And then Quan Horn at fullback. I've been keeping an eye on him recently. That man looks incredible. They were putting up bombs on him all night, and he caught everything. He was never caught alone. He was never turned over. He did some counter-attacking. When he kicked well. So it was close. We were fortunate with a little Steph Evans charge down right at the end. But you make your own luck by charging that thing down, working hard, and having a play in support. So it was very nice to have at least two of the South African teams winning, because I don't know about the other teams. The Italians apparently are very good at rugby now, Chris?
I haven't put that on my list either, so we'll leave that maybe for later. We'll see. But yeah, no. Yeah, it was, like you said, Dan, I mean, look, the Lions, we know we have a little back and forth and banter, but the Lions are a great team to watch, and they have got a spirit there. If that was the Sharks, I don't know. I don't think you would have backed the Sharks to come back and have won that game. But the Lions gave it everything. And Nohamba at 10. Yeah, I know. I've also joked that slightly. He's a little guy, but he's got a massive heart, and I actually do enjoy him. I enjoy that Lions team, and I was rooting for them to win. So it was good to see from them, right? Hey, Daniel.
Yeah, it feels like there's a bit of fire in them now, which is good, because I think that's what Lions used to provide. They always had heart, and they were exciting to watch, and kind of couldn't really write them off on any day. Obviously gone through a bit of a slump, and I think there's like kind of stardom that's scattered around that team, right? And I feel like there are glimpses of it that you're seeing, and it's just about putting it together, because I think if they can keep fit with the right players on the park, they can be a force to be reckoned with. I mean, Henko van Beek gets a lot of...
I wanted to bring him up. You brought him up. I love him. Yeah.
What a guy. Just when he touches the ball, it's like one of those, just can't wait for him to see it. But yeah, I'm promising, I mean, to get any South African team getting a win away, and as we've seen this last weekend, doesn't matter who the opposition is a good result. So fair play to them for being a part of that group.
Yeah, and actually, now while we stay on the Lions, I'll bring it back to you. I've always said, like, I love the way the Lions play. They play a brand of rugby that can win their matches, but there's still maybe 2 or 3 really quality players short for me of maybe going all the way. You agree with that, Rion? And can the Lions? Is it still just going to be bringing through the youngsters and trying to keep them, or you being closer maybe to the union? Obviously I am. Do you think? Acquisitions aren't the strategy, right?
Yeah, no, I think they really are a team that we keep the cost of salaries as low as we can and try and build a team, just try and keep a group of players together. Our main thing has always been in recent years is not the front row. The front row has always been good, except at hooker. Since Marks has left, we've really struggled at hooker. I'm sure you've seen the stats as well. Our best hooker is like one of the worst line-out throwers in the competition, PJ Bueta. He can carry well. He's a good defender, but if you try and get him to throw anywhere except the front jumper, he's almost at a 30% throwing rate. So our line-outs are a big issue. Yeah, you're not going to launch a lot of attacks with that. And then I've always felt
territory with that type. You're not going to be. It just means you can't go for territory.
Yeah, if you kick it out, you have a 50% chance of not getting your ball back, which was what was happening on what is it, Saturday night. We lost so many lineouts again because we couldn't just hit our jumpers. And then our defense it's changing. It seems like on the weekend we were hitting hard and we were double tackling, but last year we were the team that gave up the most meters post contact. Like if we were in defense and a team hit our defenders, we were giving up meters more than any other team in the competition. And you're just not going to, if that's the momentum thing in rugby. If you don't stop someone on the gain line, you're going to struggle every day. So those for me are the 2 big things. We need to sort out our line out throws and we need to stop teams on the gain line. And that's the gain line stopping was what we were doing against the Scarlets, but we just couldn't capitalize on our lineouts. So for me, those are the 2 main things. The players are there. You've seen them. Ruan Venter, he looks great. Willem Albert.
I love Ruan Venter. Also, as a friend, we saw he's the standout. Him and for me and Henko,
Kabakanye, the massive prop. He goes for ages.
He's some athlete. That guy.
Yeah.
Do you think he'll become a Bok?
10 kilos less of him would, I think.
I think he does need to work. He does need. I mean, he can also eat his cakes with ox, but I think he does need to get a little bit more athletic there. But he's a great character. Great, I like a guy you want to have on the field, right? And just a quick one, Rion. I'm a big Morne van den Berg fan. So what happens is, now Hamburg going to be the answer at 10? Does that how do you see it? Do you think he'll go back to 9? What do you feel will happen there?
The Lions have been playing a 6-2 split. So I think they've been using Nohamba's versatility so that they can only have 2 guys on the bench. So Jordan Hendricks has been riding the pine. I think he plays maybe as a fullback 10 as well. So
I was convinced he went to the Sharks. Or did I misread something?
No, I thought so as well, but that never happened.
I swear I saw that somewhere that he went to the Sharks. And then so it didn't happen, right?
It was talking.
Yeah, there was rumors, but he's still there. So I hope that's not a sign that he's maybe not staying for past this season. But I think maybe on the away tour they decided, okay, let's keep him from starting too much. The Lions didn't start the season well, so they were probably like, no, we need a change. Keep him on the bench. We'll bring him on late in the game, and they're running a 6-2 bench. So Nohamba being versatile, he can go to 9, and Jordan can come on, or Nohamba can go off and Van den Berg can stay on. And I think they want Van den Berg there just to keep the game fast. He's a bit quicker to the rack.
He's got a wicked pass. I love his pass.
He
can also be erratic. I mean, I've seen him do, but I really enjoy him at 9. But so good.
So I think it's mostly to accommodate the 6-2 bench that they have those 2 guys on the field. So that we can bring, because we have our bench this weekend looked very good. We had a good front row coming on. We had Venter coming on. We had Alberts coming on. JC Pretorius, the X7s guy, he's being used now as well. So I think that's what they've been doing. They've been using the pack more. We just need to learn to tackle and stop guys on the gain line.
Yeah. Also, goes to say, welcome to everyone on the chat. Unfortunately, guys, my equipment today is not allowing me to see the comments or anything at the moment. But yeah, guys, if you're there, welcome. Obviously, you're part of the show as well. Give us your comments. Give us your thoughts on your teams, how you feel they're going, or any topics you feel you want us to discuss. And I'm sure we'll get on it. So obviously, welcome to everybody. Let's move on swiftly on to the Sharks. Scotty, what's going on there, son?
Not a lot, clearly.
No, not at all, right?
Yeah, people are saying that all will be well when the internationals return, and on paper, you'd think that's the case, but I don't know if I'm so sure. Even last season they weren't spectacular, and they had the biggest names in rugby, Siya Kolisi and Eben Etzebeth. You're looking at two of the best stars in a Rugby World Cup. Like, the massive players, their front row. I mean, now they have Koch as well as Ox and Bongi. Like, I mean, obviously these people are going to make a difference, but it just doesn't seem to have been clicking.
And then Richardson back at 2, and now for me, Richardson's a bloody awesome flanker. I mean, obviously doing the job there, but I find that strange as well.
I wonder if that's a move. Like, I mean, now that he's represented Scotland, he's kind of put himself out of SA contention for the next 4 years. Not that I think he's too close, but there's definitely much more of a shortage in the hooker facilities within South Africa than there are at loose forwards, and historically that is also the case, right? We've produced always the highest kind of creme de la creme of loose trios. So I'm not sure if maybe that's a tactical move by him or just the coaching staff. I think he played actually flank in the first couple of weeks. So moving between the two, he didn't have
I thought
he was one of the people who actually played quite decently. Strong ball carrier, kind of.
Yeah, he's brilliant. I think he's great. Yeah.
But just a lot not happening for the Sharks, and you got to salute what's it, Zebra, first win in 18 months. I mean, to be in Palma on Friday night.
I hope it will be great. The talent side will be great to have them strong. And Benetton's got a very nice team now, but it'll be great to have both those sides playing well, full houses when they have home games. But for me, the Sharks has been the back line. I don't think they have a good back line, and there's no fluency there. I don't rate the centers that much. Gets to Cox, great, but still feels like he's a sevens player. Varsity hasn't been able to develop. You got Bosch who never kicked on. They got big players to come. I mean, do you think, this is, bad start, they come back home? I've got them coming home and sorting Connacht out on the weekend. But what do you think? It's just a matter of just grinding on, Plumtree getting back into it. What's your thoughts on Sharks at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, this team, how are they ever going to become good if they're constantly changing? Over the last 3 or 4 years, they've bought more than anyone, more players in. They don't have a squad playing together for long periods of time because Eben Etzebeth and Bonambi will play 2 games and then they're off again because they have to go play international rugby, and then they come back for 3 games and then they're off again. The guys behind them play 2 games. If there's an injury, then you're down 2 locks. You're looking for a third choice lock. Then they change coaches as well, which is another big upheaval. So it's just the constant change. I mean, it's all good and well. You have all the money in the world, but they're just not standing still for like 2 years, and let systems just bed in. Make sure you have the same coaches, the same players.
It feels a bit frenetic.
It's been constant change and stuff. The guys who have been there constantly are the guys that always seem to shine. Werner Koch. What are the other guys there? Richardson. Not from a bad Fussy. He's one of their better players.
Notches, all right. And what about Cameron Wright? I think he's had a good tour, right? But you've got a lot of scrummies around, but he seems to be a light in the.
Is he better than Nohamba, who they let go?
And they've also brought in Francois Hogarth.
Did they? How did I miss that? Really?
Francois Hogarth is a Sharks player, and he was there because of their 2 scrummies that went to the World Cup, obviously. But
they're coming back though, right? I mean, if Grant Williams comes back, Hendricks, I mean, where these guys are, these guys are going to surely fall down the pecking order. But what the point is, the thing is, I think Cameron Wright's been there and they're better players on tour. That's the point I was trying to make.
Yeah. I haven't really checked him a lot. I'm going to be honest. I haven't watched a lot of the Sharks because they've been so dire. But it just feels like, okay, we are looking at a team here that's got ultra star players, but the Sharks are finding out what the French sides have found out. If you buy Etzebeth or one of those guys, they'll play 4 games a season for you because they're constantly away. They're constantly playing for the Springboks, or they're resting or something like that.
They're different players.
Yeah, they are incredible. If they were playing for the Sharks 10 games a season, the Sharks would be top of the table, but they're not. And that's what they're finding out now. The guys below them, and it's not, and even the guys that do well behind them, like Grant Williams and those guys, they become Springboks, and then they down to Cameron Wright and those guys, So I think it's just the constant churn of guys in, out, that's causing a lot of disruption.
Sorry, because I think also if you look at the successful South African franchise teams over the last couple of years, particularly since we've been in the URC, right? 2 Stormers, 1 finals, 1 with a win, 1 runner-up, and then that Bulls team who's also been competitive. They're not littered with Springboks, and obviously that's because a lot of the Springboks, once they're good enough, they kind of go earn their keep in Europe, right? But I think in a lot of ways, the teams that haven't had the maybe bar lines, but the teams that haven't had too much coming in and out have benefited. Like, I don't think we saw a massive uplift of the Sharks when they had these names that came in, because it really was like they had a massive injection of Springbok players, and we didn't see this upturn. Whereas the Bulls and the Stormers, they had maybe 3 constants in you think Malibok and Kitsoff and Frans Malherbe, for Province, and then for the Bulls, you had their back 3, their 2 wingers, maybe Marcel Coetzee and Ulrich Loh was kind of in and out of there. But for the most part, these teams are playing with each other, and you feel like they have much more of a brand.
Identity. No, they are.
Identity. Whereas with so many big players, and as much as I'm actually not sure who the Sharks captain is. The club captain.
That tells you everything you need to know. Who is the face of the Sharks?
It can't be easy being the club captain, and then you also have Etzebeth, you have Sia Khaleesi, and you have Bongi. I'm sure they're not going to try and take up your space, but that at the end of the day, you aren't competing with them on a rugby or leadership level. These types of things are difficult to manage, whereas the Bulls have a game week out who is that person that they look to.
Well, that'll bring us onto the Bulls and Stormers, because we're proud to say, right, obviously the Stormers and Bulls have had very different road trips this time round. And when we were previewing with Stevie before the tournament, I'd mentioned that surely this is the year that the Bulls have to step up under Jack White. I mean, surely he's not going to get another season, but again, I think the consistency and the team, it seemed they've been playing some great rugby, getting the win. So is this they are top of the log? Another win on the weekend. Obviously wasn't overly pretty, but they're getting the job done. So is this the year that the Bulls are going to be the top South African side? Yeah.
Well, when they get that back 3 back of theirs, they really do have the ability. Their pack is looking great. They've struggled with props for so many years now with Walker Low back. That's going to make a huge difference for them. It's already been making huge difference, and that's another one of those great signings. It's a guy who's not constantly with the Springboks, but he's just on the cusp. He's so good that
equivalent.
He can win you a URC, but he's not going to be playing 3 games a season because he's got Springbok duties. Nizam Kaur, the back row, Carl Brink. I mean, I love that man. He's still going strong since he's been back in South Africa.
We've got Rudy Low, and now we've got Rudy also asking about Cameron Hanekom. What are your thoughts on him?
He looks very South African, proper Afrikaner. No need for anyone to look into his ancestry or anything like that. Just another great find. I'm sure everyone will hopefully keep a level head and not be like like with Ruiz, he must be a Bok, he must be a Bok, he must be a Bok. And then second season comes and he doesn't really shine as much, you know. So, no, he's been great. He's been making so many meters, monster carries all over the place. So, perfect for what the Bulls like. They like a back row that's carrying well, offloading, and then just getting in behind the other team, and then the back three can fire.
Yeah, so the thing is, you know, and we can move on to the Stormers or go quite swiftly past the Stormers. I mean, they're obviously going to get some players back, and it's starting to become quite obvious. I mean, this tournament, like a lot of tournaments, is very, for me, home team orientated. Like, touring is difficult. Clearly, we go there and we struggle to tour. Obviously, the Bulls have done a bit better, but Sharks and Stormers have been, and Lions, we haven't had a good tour. But subsequently, when these guys come back, when they come to us, sometimes there's, you know, lighter squads. So yeah, I mean, for the Bulls to get these wins, these nice wins under the belt and be top and coming back to Loftus soon, it's going to stand them in good stead, right? And so that's obviously Stormers, after two nice, easy, comfortable home wins, have obviously gone off the boil. But I don't worry about them too much as well when LeBock and Willem Philipson come back and we're back in Cape Town. They should be all right. But I mean, these guys will. What
did Nas always say? You don't win the URC in February.
In October, or win the Currie Cup in May. Well, it's going to be interesting because, you know, the Scottish sides are still doing quite well, and obviously the Irish sides. It looks like a bit of.
Yeah, I think they're also missing a bit of that glue in the players that seem to step up constantly. Obviously, there are the Boks in, you know, Money, Damien. I think they missed Savicha Daimani massively. Just someone connecting the backline and the forwards, being that dynamic. The backline they felt static. It felt like it was just Jean-Luc Duplessis trying to make something happen and kind of left his own devices. You know, Warren Galant trying probably a bit too much.
Galant had a shocker. Hey, shame. He was trying to get it going, but he
just like, you know, one of those. You can see those creative players, and even some of the criticism that went towards Manie Libbok in some of the games is not knowing when to kind of switch it off a little bit more and just like play that conservative role, right? Like the role that sometimes you just need from someone. And Galant actually kicked from on defensive kicking. I think he was actually really good. Or it was more that he was just seeing half spaces more times than he needed to, and trying maybe a little bit too much. So just not really sticking, and didn't feel. I think it's going to be a massive boost to Dion Fourie coming back. You know, they were missing some key characters. But
it's also the stretch. Yeah. Sorry, Dan.
On to you.
No, obviously we also having, you know, at Blommakeys at 10 for a while. So then the Duplessis come in, and then sent with Loader at the wing, and then Loader. He was a great. He was a great Prem player, but it's so random that there's like now in the Stormers.
Like 13 this weekend as well.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we'll preview the next this weekend's game. But let's, Daniel, if you don't mind, we'll put up the bet inside. We obviously we didn't have a show last week, and we got a different slide up tonight because I haven't got the equipment this week. So I apologize. We'll just do a quick what's tonight's bets up. If you were following, we had a massively awesome run and then a 2-week blip, but then we now back on a 2-week winning streak. The double last week, which I think it was Sale to win, which they did against Gloucester on Friday night, and Lions plus 11.5 against Benetton cruised in 2 weekends ago when we had our last bet. So we got a decent amount of units. But this weekend I've just cooked up a straight out 3 teams to win. Home teams, solid home favorites. As I said, I've called the Sharks to win. Stevie said, "What the hell?" Stevie said, "What the hell are you on about? Sharks are toilets." And I said, "Don't you worry, they're coming home and they're gonna win." Then Connacht got bad. I mean, a good side, but they're also terrible away. But Sharks not gonna give. They're coming back home and they'll do it. Glasgow at home.
Springboks are slotting in yet?
I think they're only in December.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a bit late. Yeah. But still, like I said, it's very home orientated. I mean, Connacht probably will give Sharks a great run. Don't get us wrong, but Sharks have to come home. They're right. For me, it's the spot. For me, Sharks are going to come home and win the game. They have to win it, so they'll win it. Says me. Glasgow to win against Benetton, and Exeter as well at home to Gloucester again on Sunday. So if all those 3 win, 1.95 odds, 3 units on that. let's go for it. One of those games probably might come down to the wire, but I'm confident this will come home. So that'll be this weekend's bet, guys. Obviously, this is from BOYLESPORTS, our sponsor, our channel sponsor, and providing all our odds for this betting segment that I do for you guys. So yeah, go down to Boyles, have a look. Also have a look in the comments. Sign up if you do fancy a little bit of a wager. And if you have been following my tips since April, we'll be up to almost 30 units profit. So obviously, if you don't have to follow it, use it as information towards whatever you want to do with your money. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money, but hopefully it makes you money, right? So yeah, that's the betting segment. Thanks, Dan. Let's move on to some hot topics that have come about in the last week or two. Rassie, 4 years head coach was announced, right? I think a couple days after the World Rugby Awards. Now the cynic in me said Rassie sat there and saw the books get completely dissed and disrespected, and he went, "Yeah, sure, okay, we'll go for the three-peat." And I mean, obviously, I don't know. Obviously, what discussions we had wasn't expected.
I think you're projecting.
I think Rassie was like, "Okay, yeah, you still don't think we deserve to win? Well, let's go get 3 in a row." And that's going to be his mission. He's going to be here for 4 years. What do you think, Rian? What do you think of that announcement? I'm probably not expected. I'm ecstatic about it. What's your thoughts on it?
I think the call was always that he was going to be on for 2 years after the World Cup.
Yeah, that's what I heard as well. Yeah.
But now here it is like indefinite or for the time being. I think maybe I don't know what goal, because their goal was always 2023. So we don't know what the next goal is that they've set. Is it yet another, no, think about the World Cup, or maybe wouldn't it be nice to be like, okay, now we want to win everything between World Cups? That would be a nice.
No, we actually care about rugby championships.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be nice to
actually, like your mate Ben Smith, Rian, right? It all mattered that the All Blacks won all the championships between the World Cup, but it's not. That's okay that they didn't win the World Cup because they pulled that off, right?
Yeah, they've got all that other silverware. We've got the one gold one.
He's got the guitar. They don't have the guitar cup in the bag, so that's the one they really need.
I think maybe it's more of a. I would say it's a transfer kind of thing. He wants to find the guy after him, because now Jock's gone. Will it be Stick? Will it be Davids? Will it be anyone else? You know, who is the next Bok coach? It was very obvious.
That's what I was worried. That was my biggest worry. Like them making this announcement made me feel that I think he's had the guys Davids and the guys in the background. But for them to all of a sudden come take 2-time world champion team and the press, because it's going to be so many eyes on us now. I think he made that's proper leadership call and said, right, let him stay with me for the 4 years, but let me still take it, nurture them. And I think it's the most absolute right call for him to be the leader of the next 4 year cycle, right?
Yeah, and get Eddie Jones in like Matthew Dixon says. He can start to teach Eddie some of the cards.
I think this is often not Japan have told Eddie that they don't even want him just because he's running out. Just put a
book tracksuit on and go have a glass of wine with Victor Matfield, and he's done his job, right?
Yeah,
claim the medals. Huh?
I don't know if it's just me, but my thought is that Rassie's almost. He's put himself there just to stop people, I think, asking questions. I kind of see him still being. Yeah,
I also thought that's what I think it was.
I still think he's going to appoint someone. Maybe not this season, this first season, but I think there'll be another head coach before the World Cup. I think he quite likes sitting in the wing, not having to do always the media. He can kind of listen. He lives rent free in everyone's head. Right.
That's what I think. For me, this was a typical Rassie troll move. He knew what he was doing. Yeah.
He points himself. You know.
Well, no one knows. No one knows except him what he's doing. That's the point. Like that's.
He's put himself in a position where he can just choose when he isn't the Springbok coach. Right?
But I've got another one for you, Jacques Nienaber. 2 years after Leinster might not go as well as we think, and Jacques and him are at the helm 2 years to go again. That's my prediction.
Nienaber is an agent. He's the foreign agent. He's sent to destroy Ireland from the inside.
You wouldn't be shocked, right? The other question, I'll actually like to get your guys' thoughts on this, right? This team, we got guys who've come through the last 3 World Cups, Kriel, Delandi, Pollard. Who do we think still in the current side will be there in 4 years' time? And who's going to be our captain? Are we saying Khaleesi surely doesn't have another 4-year cycle in him, right? Who do we think still going to be there, Rian? Who's going to be the captain? Because we had this conversation a few weeks ago, and it's quite hard. I don't think there's a real stand-up. Maybe Etzebeth. I think Etzebeth probably could do a 4-year cycle, right?
He might, but I wouldn't bet on it because he's been more and more injury prone as the years have gone on. I'd like to see how is recovering, because for me it's
you've gone back to the arm. You've gone to arm.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. If he stays fit, if he still gets his form back that he had before his injury, I would say is your next guy.
And Pollard have a chance. 30, he'll be 33. What's Owen Farrell now? 33, right? He could step up to captaincy role. Has he captained before? Honestly, I can't remember. But he comes across as a guy who could lead.
He's also gone, eh? So I don't know if he'll be able to carry on for that long.
Who, Pollard?
Yeah.
No, he'll be there.
Yeah, I'm convinced he'll be there.
Yes, these Springboks, they don't play club rugby.
He's playing on one of those 4G pitches in England, though. So we'll see.
I hope he has cushions underneath it that protect his knee. But
I just say the Premier League will exist in 4 years' time, so that's also at least.
Hopefully. But yeah, I mean, Sia obviously has now said that initially he had said that he is in his book that he believes that the Springbok captain should be playing in South Africa. And, all the names mentioned, I guess, bar Lucanio, are, playing overseas. I think Sia will try. I think he'll play maybe another 2 years and take it from there. And I don't think they're going to change the captain now, to be honest. I don't think they'll hand their reins over now. Because as long as Sia is playing, I can't see anyone else being there. I think the next best probably Pollard. I do see him making the next World Cup and potentially Etzebeth. It's difficult. We have so many players who are 30 or 31. And they're at that they could be there, but they could very much not be there, right? 34, 35.
Yeah.
It's fine if a couple of people are 34 but 35, but when 10 of your starting 15 are 34, 35, it's like, well, I don't know if we can play this physical game that we're promising. So it's going to be interesting. It's almost like they're going to be looking at each other. It's like, well, who's going to, hang up the boots first? Who's going to give up the reins? Because otherwise some of us are going to get dropped.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting because obviously the firm favorites, who I've argued sometimes maybe are we kind of carrying them? Are they the better players? Like obviously the guys have said it's not necessarily the better player per se or form, it's the right fits, but some of these guys are getting on. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see. And because we've been so stable for 5 years, it's like we said, but barring maybe Moody and Willemse, who's finally broken through as the man, we actually don't really know who the superstar breakout, Lowe's had his 1 or 2 runs, Russ, we don't really have this, who are the next real generation guys that are going to come through for the Boks the next 4 years, right? So we don't have that standout captain. We'll see what. I always say I trust Rassie because I was going to say Jacques now. But it's going to be very fascinating to see how this team evolves.
Hang on. And we are live. Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. It is me, Stevie P. And buckle up because we are ready for another back-to-back watch-along action. URC full steam ahead, really. But it's back in South Africa, which is good to see. Especially for a struggling Shark side, which need a victory today. They need a result at the end of the day. They're sitting bottom of the log, and whilst a result wouldn't actually necessarily mean them climbing from the bottom of the log, because they currently sit on just the solitary 1 point. So a win would move them ahead of Dragons, who they get to play this weekend. They need a bonus point win if they were to catch Scarlets. However, on points difference, they should go ahead of them. Can't catch the Lions, though, in 13th place, despite the Lions losing last night. They can't make too much headway up the table, but they can move out of the bottom spot, which I suppose is something maybe. So before we look at the two team stuff like that, please let me know where you are watching from, who you are supporting, and what your score prediction is. You've got the opportunity now to get those in, and want you to get them in nice and quickly before kickoff over here. Craig Evans, the Welshman, will be the man in charge tonight. 32-year-old. He will be assisted by the following: Morne Pereira and Zwingile Jadazweni. The teamer will be Sean Brickle. So those are your officials tonight, or this afternoon rather, this evening. Take a pick, I suppose, much the same thing, really, aren't they? Especially in South Africa at the moment, where we are full into summer. It's absolutely sweltering up here in Joburg. Very, very humid. We had some hectic thunderstorms this week. My poor house, or the house I'm staying in, was absolutely wrecked by it. Broken windows and the works. But we are at Kings Park. I'm just going to quickly put my fan on in just a bit. And good to be back, I think, for the Sharks. Very, very important game for them. Very important day for them to really sort of start bouncing back. And very welcome return to a World Cup winner, two-time World Cup winner, Lukhanyo, who is back in the mix this afternoon. And what a boost he is going to be for this struggling Sharks side, because it has not been a happy return for John Plumtree, who has yet to win a game since being appointed. So really not having a good time here. Give me your score predictions down in the comments below. Let me know what you reckon is going to happen over here. Rugby Boy earlier was in the chat. I'm seeing Jenny saying Sharks 34, Connacht 24 or 14, or Sharks 14, Connacht 44. So I think predicting is good. I think these can go very different ways. Hello, 123 MS. Hope you're well. What are your score predictions? Let me know them in the comments over there. I'm just going to put my fan on. I'm absolutely sweltering over here. Yeah, it's hot. It is very hard. Right, we look at the two teams, shall we? As we wait for the teams to take the field. For the Sharks, it is Intutuka Nunu in the front row. Dylan Richardson and Quinny Oostes, and joining him there, they'll be backed up by Corne Raal and Emil van Heerden. So the two young locks continue to get their opportunity in that Sharks second row. But need to start showing up, don't they? They really need to start showing their worth. And it's tough on the youngsters, because they're new to this level, and they really should be getting accustomed to this by sort of being introduced slowly, and you want to be able to play. And Emil van Heerden, for example, who's a young lock, you want to be able to play him next to an Eben Etzebeth. And same as Corne Raal, for example, where you can sort of give these players opportunities at the highest level, without sort of next to the Spurs campaign. And that's not been the case, unfortunately, due to just the way the cookie crumbles. Unfortunately, they've got a couple of injuries. So Nochaban Krobler, for example, available. Jean-Louis Labuskakny back into the mix, but he's on the bench. Elsewhere, if you look at the loose trio, it is James Spencer, Percy Boutlezi, Sika Mboze Noche. Big game, I think, for Sika Mboze Noche. I've been impressed with what I've seen from him coming off the bench. Again, he's a senior player in this side. He's a Springbok. He needs to show that quality. He needs to show just why he has played at the highest levels. If you look at the back line, though, it is Cameron Knight, Curran Bosch back in the mix, Pio Gianti, Francois Fenta, Lukhanyo, as I mentioned, returns to the fore. And we'll start outside centre today. On the other wing, it'll be Werner Koch, and then Apre Fassi will complete this side. Off the bench, it'll be Dan Juster, Dian Bleuler, Honro Jacobs, Jean-Louis Labuskakny, Tino Tender, Mavasera, Zimbabwean, Zima Nkabela, Butch Chamberlain, and Rohan Janse van Rensburg. If we look at the Connacht side, there's Dennis Buckley, Ty McElroy, Finlay Beelum, Oisin Darling, Joe Joyce, Ken Brendergast, Connor Oliver, Sean O'Brien, Colin Riley, JJ Hanneran, two wings, Andrew Smith, Brian Ralston, Cathal Ford, Tom Farrell in the midfield, Tieran O'Halloran at full back. Off the bench, it is Dave Heffernan, Peter Dooley, Dominic Robertson McCoy, David Murray, Seamus Hurley-Langton, Colin Blade, David Hawkshaw, and John Porch. And we are underway down in Durban. Connacht playing in, I think it's like a pink kit. It's a bit of a weird one. Not in their traditional green, which is quite dark, and as a result will clash in the Sharks black kit. And immediately going to the boot is Colin Riley. And it's a pretty good kick as Fassi fields it. And it should be up towards the halfway line. It is on the halfway line, pretty much exactly. So a very nice start there for Riley. Just sharing the link on the various socials, so we can get all the buggers into the chat here. and not straight there. Well, knocked on really. Everything, not straight, knock on. Either way, it will be a line-out. A scrum for Connacht. Right, let me just get this done and I can really focus on the job at hand here. First scrum, the big test here for Nstuka Unu, the youngsters up against Finley Beelum, who's just come back from World Cup duty. And onto the MS saying Sharks will lose by 5. Tulasile saying Sharks, hi family, I'm a new subscriber. Well, welcome to the channel, Tulasile. And onto the MS saying Sharks need more time to build team coherence, but they will finish the season strong. They have 3 comps this year, still building depth in the Challenge Cup, joining the likes of the Lions and the Cheetahs in that one. And Quintus Coetzee reckons Sharks lose by 9. No one backing the home side to get the job done. Is that harsh? Is that fair? It's probably fair given the recent form. I've got a sneaky feeling though, and I'm betting expert as well. Reckons the Sharks going to bounce back today. Very solid scrum there, not much give there. And Riley throws it out. It's an early carry on the angle. Good tackle and then there from James Fenter on Cattle Ford. And the ball's come loose there in that carry. Picked up by Dylan Richardson. She spins away from one, still going as the hooker. Huge. I think he's going to have suddenly a big role ahead of him. I think we were wondering where we were going to see in the season. Well, Bongi Manami's injury, this is a good wraparound there. Bernard Cock going to Apple Fast taking contact. Greg had a tackle on him from Byron Walston. That injury to Bongi Manambi, I think, will necessitate a lot of game time at hooker for Dylan Richardson. A sharp carry there from Emil van Heerden. Currie Bosch pops it up to Dylan Richardson. Francois Fenter goes to Pesci Boot. Sorry, Sukumoza Noche rather back on the angle. Working their way down the left. Nice pace about this. Cornelius hasn't popping up. Currie Bosch wants to try the cross kick. And, it's interesting as a player fast has just kicked it ahead because it was too far away for him to reach. And the Kanya Arms chasing. And they find a bit of space, which spawns back inside towards Currie Bosch. Currie Bosch wants to run this. Just gets outside his 22. Hammers it down the middle of the park. And that's Hannerin. It's gone all the way back. And hand in hand with a decent clearance there. It's a very interesting colour jersey, this one, Connacht. Not sure what's doing for me. They got the orange and green, which is like the Roland Garros colours. Then there's pink. You just go with white, don't you? I think it was white, very, very clean. Much better line up there. Cameron Wright, front foot ball there for Currie Bosch. Wants to wrap around. He picks it up from Francois Fenter. Pops it up to Kanya Adams. Got a bit of space. Kanya Adams looking for the offload off the ground. Eventually does place it for Cameron Wright. Pepsi Buthelezi. Strong carry from him. And forward pass. Well, I'm enjoying the intensity. I'm enjoying the pace of play here from the Sharks. It's nice, good soft skills so far being shown. Need to just sort of it's poor for Periodianti. A couple of decent steps and then just try to get that off. We haven't quite seen the Periodianti from the Lions just yet in his opening sort of 4 games, 3 starts for him. Right, Rugby Boys say, how are you? Yeah, I'm all good. Hot, a little bit hot over here. But we're moving out here. One to Theo is saying, Box need more hookers, hopefully some steps up. Yeah, this is the issue, isn't it? They Karen McFearon with an injury, Bongi Belanby out with injury. I'm not quite sure where Pheasant Barter is. He was part of a Springbok camp not too long ago, 24 years old. Trying to find a bit of game time, trying to find his way in that Shark setup. Don't want to get lost to the system players like that. Alright, another strong scrum here. This time a bit of a tendency, and once again looks to forward for the carry. Long pass out wide as the kick ahead there from Ralston. And it's going to land just inside. In fact, that's going to be... Did it bounce out? It did bounce out, and that'll be a 50-22 as well. Yeah, that's really, really poor covering there by the Sharks. It's a brilliant kick from Ralston, but I mean, how they don't have anybody back. Swing it out wide, and Werner Cox desperately trying to make some a yard, but it's right up against touchline, and then bounces out. So it'll be a 50-22 for Connacht. They'll have it line out inside the 22. Really good front foot forward now for the away side. The men from Ireland. You go to the front of the lineup. Good take. Looking for the rolling more. No, they decide to break through Conor Oliver. Another strong carry there from Ford. And a bit of a snipe there coming from Riley. Now they go to the forwards here. Penalty advantage here for Connacht. Almost through. Goes dishing down, I think it was. Within 5 meters now, Connacht move down to the right hand side. This is Dowling. Now Finley beat him with Conor Oliver on his shoulder. Still penalty advantage. Inside ball. Strong carry there from Joe Joyce. Now left hand side. They're just short. Had they got grounding? They have indeed. The ref has awarded. Referee Craig Evans has seen it. He's awarded it. He says, thank you very much. And that is the perfect start. I think it looks like it's Sean O'Brien who scored that. Yeah, very good continuity there from Connacht. Going through the phases there. Good physicality. Penalty advantage as well. And Sean O'Brien putting on the finishing touches of some good pressure. Dasta says, can the Stormers win tonight? Well, I mean, I think they can. I think they have to play very well if they're going to. It'll be a bit sad, though, if we were to go 4 from 4 losses to South African sides, wouldn't it? So you're kind of expecting this game to be the one that the South African side should win. I take a bit of a long run up there before that. Actually almost gave Pierre Dante half a charge, try and charge him down. But no issues there. They add the extras. And Connacht take an early 7-0 lead. Right, Kernbosch for the restart. Goes down that right-hand side. Strong chase there from Werner Koch, but it's a good take from Dowling. It's a very, very good kick. I'll tell you what, Riley's been kicking a touch has been spot on so far. Pinned the Stormers, Sharks back to the halfway line once again. It's going to have to build from their own half, basically. Dylan Richardson, he's bulked up a little bit. I think he had to. Always had a good skill set, but it's probably a little bit lightweight in his earlier stages of his career. But we often see it with young players. And that is not a good line. That has been stolen by Connacht. Dylan Richardson is the first one there, putting a lot of pressure trying to make up for his mistake. Now Conor Oliver. Strong leg drive from him. And Riley digging. Looks like very wet conditions are in Durban. Underfoot. Looks like a lot of Buthelezi all over that ball. And wins a penalty. Very, very nicely done. He just rolled and landed right in front of Pesce Buthelezi. You won't have too many easier opportunities from that to win a breakdown penalty. Absolutely nobody around. Gets straight over that ball. And decision time now. Francois Fenter, the captain, says, nope, we're going to go for poles here. No, he's going to go for the corner. It looks like they're pointing for the poles. Right, and a big opportunity to try and hit back. And Mio van Heerden just taps that back and lands into the hands of, I think that's Sigmund Noche, who does pretty well, in fact. And so they've kept possession. Stukan Tunu now, that's what he's really good at. His ball in hand. Cameron Wright, Francois Fenter, runs a good angle there. It was a half chance for interception. Right, Currie Bosch. Going to have very fast. He spins in the tackle. Pops up to Pierre Dianti. Steps away from one. It's Pierre Dianti. Desperate for a try, isn't he? Cameron Wright back down the right-hand side. And it's corner roll. The young number 4. Cameron Wright now fires it out to Currie Bosch, who goes pretty flat to Percy Buthelezi, who's driven back on the 22 of the Sharks in the middle of the field. Moved on the right-hand side. The Kanya pops it up to Dylan Richardson. Cameron Wright goes to Werner Koch. Oh, good hands, good hands. And Sikabos Notches coming inside. Gives it away to Lekanya Lekanya makes a couple of yards. Much better from the Sharks here. Currie Bosch. Miel van Heerden. Van Heerden. Francois Fenter. Out on the bounce to Pierre Dianti. Work to do from Pierre Dianti. Steps back inside. Just short as a Pierre Dianti. 2 meters out now are the Sharks. Cameron Wright eventually arriving. Moontails inside to Dylan Richardson. He's a half a yard short. Composure needed now. Cameron Wright. What did I say? And Dylan James Fenter knocks it on. Knock on from him. Literally, that is the definition of commentator's cursed. Kanya, good to see him on a rugby field. How fit he is, well, I guess we'll find out. Or in terms of whether he's really truly back. Still didn't look quite the same during that sort of August period where he was playing for the Boks. We hadn't quite seen that pace that he did have, which takes a while after a knee injury. So it'll be interesting to see the sort of. I mean, Jacques Nielbar spoke very well of him during the World Cup, saying he was very impressed with how well he trained. So hopefully he's looking pretty good. What I'm enjoying so far is I've seen Pierre Dianti with ball in hand twice already, and I don't think we saw it once maybe last week. Pride Reptile says, when can we expect the rest of the Boks to be back? That first weekend of December, I believe, is when most of them should be back. I think they'll have next weekend off, and then they should be back for that round, that first, second. So I think we've actually got South African Derby. I think it's Sharks versus Bulls, and then they expect all the Springboks to be back for both sides. So. You know, we could be having Mapimpi versus Kurt Lawrence or Kanan Moody or Billy LaRue in full back for the Bulls, for example. Even Itzbeth in the pack. Right, Scramia for Connacht. Taking a while to put it in. Very, very solo once again. And they go to forward. Nice strong carry from the inside centre. Just created a nice angle here for Riley. He's going to go to the box kid now. In fact, he goes back to hand to hand. He's got some decent time and finds half decent clearance as well. Outside the 22, they go. But Sharks still an opportunity here on the front foot. Just need be a bit more composed. Try and score some points, get into this game. If you haven't already, please do go vote on the poll. Currie Bosch popping up to Pierre Dianti. Pierre Dianti looking to try and get the offload away. Did it go forward? That's been knocked on from Connacht. So whether it's a double knock on or just this one from Connacht, it will be a scrum either way. I think the first knock on. I think the first the pass from Pierre Dianti was. Did it go forward? I'm not sure. Francois Fenter picking it up off the base of off the ground and trying to pop it up. To Royal King Vikings saying Bongi 6-month injury, yeah, out for the season at this stage. And Devin Williams underrated fullback, yeah, I like him, but I suppose he's got to try and impress Jake White now because Billy LaRue is on his way, as is Kurt Lawrence, so he can play at fullback for the Bulls. So options coming towards for Jake White. And on the right-hand side, the Sharks with the scrum. Bernard sits one down, still going as Bernard into the 22. The Sharks go once again. Picks Buthelezi, realizing the ball is out, decides to pick it up and use it. Eventually falls to Richard, bounces good angle to James Fenter. James Fenter then losing it forward. That's 2 carries from James Fenter, and he's lost both of them forward. This is what I mean. The intensity, the pace, the tempo has been good early on here from the Sharks, but just needs to try and keep it a bit tighter. James Fenter, former Lions flank, made his way down to Durban about, I think it was pre-COVID actually, to be fair, or just after COVID. Has been there a while. That's where I'm getting at. No Bandiaki here for Connacht, which is a huge loss for them because, I mean, World Player of the Year nominee, probably the player of the World Cup, playing some of the best rugby I've ever seen him play. But another scrum here inside the 22, this time for Connacht. Right, I'm going to close that poll as it heads towards the 20-minute mark. 115 votes, 71% saying the Sharks will win, 26% saying Connacht, 2% going for a draw. Pride Reptile saying James Fender got butterfingers today. He does, and unfortunately, he's usually very solid from a soft skills perspective. We have a reset here. Not too much ascendancy from either side so far in the opening few scrums. And on the left hand, Portuguese carry pretty well. Brings out the left boot of his. It's another good clearance. Connacht have cleared very, very well. It must be said. They've cleared very well. Straight to the hands of Emil van Heerden, and the Sharks line-out continues to give them problems. And that's gone straight through. Kicking was in Noche's knocked it on. Another knock on advantage for Connacht. Sniping. Looking for space there is Andrew Smith. Eventually takes contact. Bernard Koch good under the high ball there. It's another one down. He's carried very well nice as Bernard Koch. Had some very good games at 13 during that British and Irish Lions series sort of time. Nasikin was in Noche, number 8, trying to get back on the front foot here for Sharks. Cameron Wright goes to Currie Bosch. Currie Bosch looking for distance, goes on that left-hand side, spotted a bit of space. And it's actually been marked over here by O'Halloran. Then takes quickly, goes to Apelefasi right. What's he going to do? He's going to look to chip and chase. Now he wants to run himself, gets away from one. Good tackle coming from Ford. Now Quinny Oosthuizen. Coming right, fires to the right hand side. Chip and chase here from Currie Bosch. Very well fielded by Andrew Smith. Turnover ball here for Connacht. Back in the pocket is Hanrahan. Finds space on the right hand side. Alright, it's a period here to Apelefasi. Fassi wants to run. He's full of range today. He's got no thought about kicking so far. Sharks haven't kicked too much so far. Now, Isuka Tunu. Hard hit coming from him, from Dowling and Oliver. Currie Bosch pops it up to Sikomoze Noche. Looking to try and keep the ball alive as much as possible here, the Sharks. Currie Bosch, soft, good hands. Bernard Cox get that very nicely. He's got pace to put lazy as well. Steps inside of one is Bernard Cox. Pops it up to Cameron Wright. Cameron Wright looking for options. Gives it back to Bernard Cox. Bernard Cox still going. Long pass out towards Quinny Ostate as the forwards begin to catch up. Now Stuka Tunu pops it up to Currie Bosch. Currie Bosch gives it to Sikomoze Noche. To Fasti. Fasti, drawn pass. To Papiro Dianti back inside from Papiro Dianti. They left it behind. Currie Bosch has managed to dive on the ball. It's still available. Yep, Cameron Wright. He goes to corner roll. Pacey Buthelezi. Spins away from one. Finds a bit of space to Pacey Buthelezi. Eventually brought down the 5 meter. Sharks on the front foot here. Cameron Wright down the left hand side. Papiro Dianti. Oh my living. Papiro Dianti has just been dumped. That was disrespectful, to be honest. And then coming in for the clearance was Aprile Fassi, who knocked on in the process. Not good. Not good. Brian saying, Sharks are allergic to scoring tries, aren't you? It seems to be. I mean, jeepers. How many opportunities are you going to get you before silly knock-ons? An opportunity now, a bit of break and play, and some running repairs for Dylan Richardson gives an opportunity for Currie Bosch to bark out a few instructions to his teammates. Connacht have been in the Sharks 22 once, and they scored. Sharks have been in the Connacht 22, must be at least 4 or 5 times, and they yet to score a point. Right, and another scrum. 6 handling errors so far from the Sharks. That tells the story, doesn't it? 22 minutes in. Averaging a handling error every 4 minutes. Big scrum, yeah. Not really moving. And pops it up towards Riley, who then clears it pretty well. Been very impressed kicking a touch here so far. The scrum off. Right, can the Sharks win the lineup? Outside 22, go to the front of the line to corner roll. Much safer option. He does take it well. Television comes with the back of the maul. Not too many options there. Loses a bit of momentum, really. And yeah, about to say isolate, and Connor Oliver's all over that, and he wins the penalty. Pretty poor from Dylan Richardson. It was so busy trying to find a bit of space that he ran all the way backwards, very laterally. He ran away from all the supports. Then by the time he was brought down, Connor Oliver was right there and says, "Thank you very much. I'll take that off you." And a penalty for Connacht. So 24 minutes and the Sharks still scoreless, despite having several opportunities inside the Connacht 22. Very frustrating as a Sharks fan to be watching this. But inside ball, Connor Oliver. Now, little chip over the top down the right-hand side there for Riley. Interesting option. Goes too far. First real mistake from the scrum up. I don't mind that. I mean, he's got a license to do that a little bit, you know. It's something a bit different. It wasn't really a cross kick. Wasn't really an up and under. He was basically just lifting it towards that right-hand side with Byron Ralston chasing very hard. And if it just stayed in and Ralston managed to catch it on the fly, I think he's going. I think he probably runs it in, to be fair. So worth the try. Good take from Emil van Heerden. But it's looking a little bit better here. Francois Venter decides he wants to carry himself. Cameron Wright goes back to up here fast in the pocket. He just dabs it through that left boot. Seeing that space and behind. Is the bounce of the ball going to help him? It is indeed. That should be a 50-22. And maybe that's a good momentum switch. Yeah, I think that's what the high fives are there for. Although it looks like they might have been inside Connacht half in the ruck there. So interesting decision now for the umpires to make. And the final call is, taken back. So it will be a Connacht line up. But it'll be kind of that line on the 5-meter line. So still a pretty good kick in the end. And good net result. Good take there from Joyce. Oh, that's been knocked down by Cornero. Penalty. That's silly. That's really silly. You can see the penalty, and I think the expletive that he's just uttered has probably summed it up. No need to do that. He's going to put his hand down in offside position, knock the ball down deliberately. To see the penalty, what was going to be a Sharks line out, probably outside of 22, will now be a Connacht line out even further on. Yeah, there's no need really. There's never going to be able to catch that. Make the tackle or try and go for the ball carrier. So discipline now needed from the Sharks. The Connacht line-out is operating very nice. It's Ken Prendergast actually who gets a hold of that. Oh, that's a big hit. That's a huge hit. And that's Sigmund Inoche making his presence felt on forward. I think he got bored of the big inside centre carrying strongly and decides to just let him know who the physicality really belongs to. And that's lifted high in the air. But if that's come, Petio Dianti, but lets that bounce though. And that's come away the side of the Sharks. Of all men, I think it's Cameron Wright actually who's gotten it. Pierre Dianti fires out to Currie Bosch. Currie Bosch goes to Kanya who goes to Francois Venter. Francois Venter looks to try and inject a bit of pace. And a penalty for sealing off against James Venter, who's not having a good time here. Third penalty conceded from the Sharks. AG says Sharks just need to wait until the second half. Price what a kick from Rassie. It was a great kick. It really was. Deserved 50-22. It's unfortunate that it was actually carried back in the end. Right, 27 minutes gone. It's still pretty close here. Francois Venter looks like he's come to play a bit. So it looks like nice turn of pace there. And you can see there from James Venter, giving the referee not too many options there off his feet. They're almost sort of going knee first. Right. Right, and with that break and play, let's talk about BOYLESPORTS, shall we? They are giving away 10,000 rands worth of free bets this month in November. If you go and sign up for a BOYLESPORTS account, link in the description, and go and place a stake of 50 rand or more, you will go into a draw to win a share of 10,000 rand worth of free bets between the 3rd and the 26th of November. So right now, go and get yourself a BOYLESPORTS account. Go and place a bet of 50 rand or more and get an opportunity to win a share of 10,000 Rand worth of free bets. Other promotions happening this weekend is the Vegas Grand Prix tomorrow. We will be live for it as well. You can get 20 extra spins if you bet on the Vegas Grand Prix using BOYLESPORTS. Also, the Rugby World Cup final tomorrow. You can get a refund up to 500 Rand on extra bets if you place a bet on the World Cup semi-final and final and you lose. So you can get 25% of your stake back on all losing bets betting on the Cricket World Cup. So if you go and bet on Australia, for example, tomorrow, and they lose, you'll get 25% of your stake back in a free bet. So some very cool promos being run by the team over at BOYLESPORTS who are helping power us to stream. Go and show them their support. And yeah, make sure you have an account. And we give away free bets as well on our Super Brew, which happens every single week. Right, let's get back to the action. And they've gone to the corner here, have Connacht, and they've won the line out. Good momentum this year from Connacht. Finley Beelan now caught on the ball. They're just outside the 22 though. Sharks need to remain disciplined, yeah. Big hit coming that on Sean O'Brien, the try scorer. Now forward, looking to try and get it back on the front foot. And basically put laser comes away at the ball. Really good turn of Emil van here. No, he decides to go to the boot as well. Does the big look. Who's pumping his legs. And that's into Tuku. Are there any backline players who are going to arrive here? The ball's gone loose here. I think Ralston might have even taken this back. And into Tuku, by the way, who has got a, I think it's a 400-meter record or something along those lines, or sprinted at school in anyway. This is why. Look at the pace he shows here. Pumping those legs. That's brilliant work from the loose head. You won't see any other loose head around the world. I'll tell you what. Potentially knocked on from. I don't know if Ralston actually managed to ground this over the line. But what a sprint that is from the big man. So wait and see what the final decision will be here. Could be a Sharks 5-meter scrum. Could be a goal line dropout. Could be a Connacht scrum. I think it's going to be a scrum either way. I think Cameron Wright's asking for a ball. Yeah, I think it will be a 5-meter scrum. That is brilliant from Intuka. Goodness me. Big opportunity this. Really, really big opportunity this. Camper 675 saying Fenton decided to lose this game for the Sharks all by himself. Not had a good time so far, James Fenton. Big opportunity this now for the Sharks. On the 5-meter line. Cameron Wright goes to the left-hand side. He goes down to Varsity. Big counter coming from Connacht. Eventually, ball is available. It's slow ball here for the Sharks. Piridianti arrives. Pops it up to Dylan Richardson. And penalty here for the Sharks. Right, decision time here for the Sharks. I think probably go for the corner is what they'll probably do. Con Oliver this time being penalised. Kemba says, so I want to see Richardson in a box jersey at 2. Well, unfortunately, he has made his debut for Scotland. So he's Scotland at the moment. I'm checking, it's like 3 years, I think it is, or 3 or 4 years, or whatever it is, for him to, if we can re-qualify to play for South Africa. And there's the try. There is the try. Trying to work out who the try scorer is. I think it's Sikamose Noche. And finally, the pressure amounts to something. And there's a couple of words being said there between Sikamoze Noche and Pepsi Buthelezi. After the Varsity deciding to get involved as well. And eventually the players start to walk away. It is Sikamoze Noche, by the way, who scores a try. Comes away with a very stretched shirt. Played well so far. Sikamoze Noche. Good first carry there from Nsuka Tunu. Yeah, and then really clever from Sikamoze Noche. Just goes underneath the defenders. Gets up nice and low. Bang, straight over. Very, very good work from the number 8. Currie Bosch, his first effort of the day. He's missed that. How has he missed that? I mean, for someone of his quality, surely can't be missing that. Price just tears in my eyes. We actually scored. Sparrow saying, I don't realistically think the Box of the Sharks are going to make a difference. I think they need new coaches. They've got a new coach. Sparrow says, New Power must go back to sevens and Plumtree must... He's just got new coaches, though. Surely you got to give them a season. Deep restart there. Cameron Knight pops inside. Pepsi Buthelezi. He says, right, off you go, mate. This is what you do. You're here to carry. And that is absolutely criminal. It's brilliantly done from Ty McElroy. He was the man who's getting involved in the fire. And he's gone over Pepsi Buthelezi. He's won a penalty for Connacht who, if I'm there and I say, right, we'll take the 3 and establish ourselves a 5-point lead, yeah. Sharks missing the conversion. And they take the 3 points here, which they will. And all of a sudden, the Sharks have only made 2 points up on the lead. Da, da, da. And a penalty for Connacht on the restart after Shane Spencer once again. He can't believe it. He absolutely can't believe it. Good sound. Good work there from Television. Very solid carry up. They won the lineup there. The Sharks doing well to come back into that. Nice strong carry from Nsuka Tunu. On the right-hand side. This is good from the Sharks. The good continuity. Throw it back on the inside. Currie and Bosch. Goes to Milp and Heerden. Not on the right-hand side. Playing fast, gives it a BITDEFENDER. BITDEFENDER finds a bit of space, gives it into Seeker was in North. He's bundled out. It was right up against the touchline. Just zero space to work with. Another break and play, yeah. 3 minutes to go to half time. Sharks 5 points behind. Connacht 2. Yeah, I've weathered a storm, really. I think that's probably the most frustrating thing from the Sharks' perspective, that they've had the momentum here. Zero says, starts with the players. Hannah says, come on, Sharks on Super. Zero says, man, it's been 4 games, right, and they haven't won a game, and they're losing to Connacht, whose only star players are Hansen, Aki, and Beelan. Compared to the Sharks, who have quite a few good players. They clearly invest in the wrong players for their style of play. And back to my point before, they don't even have Aki and Hansen playing, but they're still losing. Look, I think it's a bit harsh to say Connacht are only 2 players, but or 2 or 3 players. Kian Prendergast for me is a future star. If you ask me, I think Tom Farrell's a nice player, an outside centre. Halloran's a decent player, but yes, I do get your mean. This isn't the strongest of Irish sides. By the way, this is a substitution. By the way, John Porch is on for Andrew Smith. And this is the thing I think a lot of people are saying, you know, is if you look at the Sharks side, even this Sharks side, Intuka was internationally capped, Dylan Richardson is internationally capped, Quinny Ostays is internationally capped, Sikamozi Noche is internationally capped, Cohen Bosch is internationally capped, Apira Dianti internationally capped, Lekanya Am internationally capped, Apre Fassi internationally capped. You know, we're talking about a side, and that's just in the starting 15, by the way. So in the starting 15, we're looking at 8 players. In fact, Francois Venter has also played. You're looking at 9 players who have played international rugby in the starting 15. You know, then off the bench, you've got Ryan Rensburg, who's played. He's been in the Springbok squad, for example. So yeah, they've got players there. They've got players. Very, very nice clearance this time. And once again from Riley, he's kicked so well. Campus of the Box are going to go from winning the World Cup to get their form destroyed by playing for the Sharks. Graham Bosch sees a bit of space in behind, and as that's bounced in, I think it has bounced in, but it stayed in, and Riley right up against the touchline. That's desperately unlucky from Currie Bosch. It's a brilliant kick. Would have been a 50-22, and Riley finds a decent touch finder. Still Sharks ball inside the half, though, with a minute and a half to play. Probably not the Sharks' best result is probably a penalty, but they can try and kick to around. So you just don't know how does this not go out. So he stays just inside. And really, really expressed from the scrum off so far this half. He's been everywhere. Right, front football, Currie Bosch going to Francois Venter. Currie Bosch, Kanya Am. And that's gone forward. Surely. I thought it was forward and then kicked ahead by the Kanya Am, but I've never had any off the boot, so really good work there from the Kanya Am. Yeah, I'm not convinced the Kanya Am manages to actually Cameron Wright, front foot ball, yeah, Francois Venter. So last opportunity here for the Sharks. The clock does turn red. Corner roll. Right, James Fenton now. Decent carry into the 22. They go. Good momentum here from the Sharks. What can they do with it, though? Currie stays in. Cameron Wright showing go. Short bit of space. Inside ball. And it's turned over. And they'll kick this out. We'll connect. And that kind of sums it up, doesn't it? Good momentum. A couple of good phases. And then nothing coming from it. Right, people, that is half time. We will see you guys in just a bit. We're going to hand you... we're not going to hand you to a live panel. But we're going to move back to... our fan forum, which was playing a bit earlier, so you guys can go and enjoy that in the break, and I will see you guys shortly before kickoff for the second half. See you in a bit.
Welcome to another edition of Fan Forum on a Thursday night with Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. As you can see,
someone on YouTube that publishes, very, tactically deep content, and for me, at least, it's kind of broadened my rugby horizons from an understandings point of view of, how the game works between, just big people running at each other to the nuance that he can identify and I think spread around. But using clips of the World Cup now being flagged, as a lot of them have been throughout the World Cup, kind of on any social platform, World Rugby saying you haven't actually paid for the rights to be able to broadcast and benefit financially off of these. And subsequently, he's been in talks with World Rugby after they took his video down. Rian, I mean, let's have it broader. First of all,
has it impacted you as well, Rian? When you're looking for content?
I got a strike as well. Yeah. So there's this thing about YouTube, this fair use, that you are allowed to use another party's IP, not for straight reproduction. You're using it to make points or commentate on it, create commentary about it. So obviously you can't show an 80-minute game. That's obvious. We all know that stuff.
Yeah.
You can't even go and just show a 40-minute game. You have to bring something to the clip that you're using, which is definitely what he's doing. He's not using the original audio. He's dubbing over it. It's being cut up a lot. It's being stopped. It's zoomed in, all that kind of stuff. He is obviously using the footage of World Rugby to create commentary and stuff, which is under fair use still legal. My video that they took down, I use, in the beginning of my videos, sometimes I show little highlight clips where I just say a little couple of jokes over it and then Rappi, literally 5 seconds that I dubbed over, they took down. And it's not an AI bot. It was someone from World Rugby personally going and clicking, this video is illegal. 5 seconds dubbed over with text on top is definitely fair use. So that takedown would also not hold up in the court, but you have to go there to the court, which takes months, years sometimes. The same for Switch.
By the time the video is back up, people have lost interest in watching it.
Yeah,
right?
it's too late anyways. And then you have a strike on your channel, which means you have to go to lessons to say, I know what fair use is. I will never do this again. If you have 3 of those strikes, they delete your channel. All that kind of stuff happens. So
what is it? Is it the monetization of it? Sorry, Currie.
No. Even if you monetize the video or not, they will take it down because it's their footage. It seems what happened was World Rugby, this World Cup, World Rugby sold the rights for the stuff to a bunch of countries, obviously to SuperSport or whatever. But there's this one group in France, apparently, that's this channel or whatever, that they sold rights to, TF1 or something like that. They have told World Rugby, I don't care where it is, on what platform it is, how long, how it's reproduced. If we see someone else posting our stuff, you take it down. And I think that's what's happened. This French group that own it, they have gone full on no. We're not allowed to show anything. And I don't know if there's nothing has come out of Squidge's video since. It doesn't look like he'll be able to put it back up. Even now that we're months or weeks away from the World Cup. So there's not even any advertising running on anything. You can't show that full thing now and show TV ads because no one's going to watch it. No one's going to buy ad space. So it makes no sense for them to pull it down, but it's still happening. So yeah, some of it feels vindictive. It feels like some creators
that was a greed thing. Whoever got those rights was pure greed, right? Feels like.
Yeah.
But
well,
also,
they paid for it, so it's their right. But
I know, but
fair use.
But
there is a fair use thing. Yeah, that they are not.
I understand
the whole, but
I think what they lack to understand is how people ingest sports nowadays, and you get people interested by creators, Forever Sports, you on your own channels, putting it out there. People catch it on Instagram, then they find out about it on YouTube, and now all of a sudden they're watching a live game, and then you've got a wider viewer base. I think it's the NBA that all creators can create with the any of the kind of match footage, and they're super liberal with how they do that, and it's insane how much growth they've seen just from a conversion from social media. So I think it's also it feels like a clamping down where it's probably some old kind of dinosaur that's been in it for a long time, and he's seeing people popping up and using the rights that he's bought or she's bought to the massive grand finale of rugby, and saying, well, that's not yours, that's mine, not realizing the impact that it can actually have, not just on the game and growing the game, but them financially as well.
But but I've done a little bit of this many years ago with some content deals and stuff, so I don't know the full details of Make Game Real, and if you do know, but obviously this company have paid over the moon prices for basic exclusivity. And then, because sometimes these guys do deals, and then they can do sublicense the content. So then you go to this company says, okay, we'll own and manage it all, pay for it, monetize. But that monetization would also include sublicenses to say Forever Sports. Okay, I want is a package system. Say, okay, you can get 2-minute clips, and then there's an actual company that will actually package that content up, and that's the type of content then you can then use. But it just seems like this one company was like, thank you very much, we'll have it all, everyone bugger off, and that's 20 years ago stuff, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. It seems like a company went full on, no, it's ours, and they brought out stats to show, oh, look how big our social engagement has been. I saw stats today that said like rugby went up 700% engagement on all the platforms. Our most liked thing on Twitter was 1.9 million likes or whatever. Then someone said, oh, that's nice. Look at this. The Premier League, a midweek game, one of our posts got almost 800 million likes. It's not even in the same stratosphere, because people are allowed that space. Because they're allowed to use it and grow it and stuff.
You know what this feels like? This feels like nepotism. This feels like someone's buddy is in this company, someone overcharged, someone got a backhander. See you later. It was nothing to do with about you guys and growing this before. This smells like a dirty deal to me. Something's gone.
But I have seen that World Rugby has said from 2025 they are renegotiating all their content and all that kind of stuff. And they will be going. The URC actually is one of the more modern things. The URC allows you to use stuff like that. You can repost, you can make GIFs, you can do memes. They want you to do that. The URC is very liberal with their stuff. And I think World Rugby wants to go into that. And also, their next deal will be like that.
I think my frustration is that they have the rule that you can't just repost it. Obviously, that makes sense. Like if Steve and Forever Sports had a live stream where it was here and we were commentating, yes, you can understand. Then that's an all game. I'm either gonna watch like on ITV or I'm gonna watch it on Forever Sports. But it's not that. It's completely.
It's not what we want to do.
What we're speaking about is for people to engage with after the matter of fact, and they might be now to watch the next game. This is happening at the same time.
Exactly. This is not how normally these. I have been in a bit of these deals, and this is not how these content deals are done. There's backup periods. There's ways to do that. Everyone can have a piece of the pie. I've not heard or seen of a deal like this being brokered for a very long time. This was dirty. This was naughty, and it wasn't right. You know.
And it's taken a lot away from the World Cup. Like the difference between what you saw this weekend after a couple rounds of URC online and during the World Cup, it's night and day. You see clips everywhere of the URC and of the Premiership from all kinds of people, but you see nothing from the World Cup. It's ridiculous. Hopefully they'll learn their lesson. It'll never happen again.
Interesting one. Obviously will affect us. This is what the game we in our boys, and obviously want to grow this channel as we get to 500,000 subscribers, and Rion, you take over the space. So hopefully it gets better I'm sure they will sort it out. There's been too much noise. They will. I'm sure they will. Anyway, guys, we've got to an hour. It's been great. We haven't got into this weekend's fixtures. We won't spend too much time. But I'm thinking, let's go through the South African guys' team's fixtures, and we'll just have a quick prediction. Really, let's just quickly do that and see how they go. We'll just already. Bulls not too bad at home. Not a bad side. See the Bulls picking up another win on their way home. What do you guys think? What do you think, Rion? Give you the first up.
I saw the team the Bulls named. It looked pretty good. But Edinburgh, they know mugs. They're pretty good themselves. I think the Cardiff that the Bulls beat they won, and the Welsh sides are not very good these days. So I think this might be an Edinburgh one.
Good call. Scotty.
I don't want to make it sound like a landslide, but I was actually also going to go Edinburgh. I was surprised that you did as well. I think very close though. I think 2 points either way, but I'm also going to go just give the nod to Edinburgh.
Yeah, those two Scottish sides do well against us. It seems like we do. Like I said, we do better against the Welsh sides away. If we do, still get driven close. But Edinburgh, the Scottish side seem to do well against us at the moment. I'm also Bulls have been good, but I think Edinburgh might sneak this one as well. Sure. And then we got the big boy Lions up against Ulster. Tricky one at Ulster. That's going to be a tricky one. Hey, Rion, how do you think this is going?
Unfortunately.
Right, and we are back here for the second half. The Lions trading Connacht by 10 points to 5. A frustrating game, really, for the Sharks, because they've not quite. It just hasn't quite happened for them just yet. They've been close, but nose to go, I think, is probably the right sort of way of saying it. So I'm interested to see exactly how they respond. I think is probably the main thing. It's been a frustrating game from them, I think, because they've had opportunities. They've been inside the 22, for example. They've had opportunities to really have a go at Connacht. But every single time they've had those chances, something's gone wrong. A knock on or a wrong decision, and they just need a bit more. A bit more clinical, really, is the easy word. And that's true. They just need to make the right decisions in the right situations. And I think that's kind of where they've. Oh my goodness, someone's absolutely had a heart attack about being on TV. Let's make sure she's okay. But because they've played well enough to be in the lead, but they're not in the lead. And Connacht have literally just been inside the 22, I think, once, and made it count, and then. They've got a. We'll give the penalty really. Well, one a good penalty in a good situation, and they took the 3 points, and all of a sudden they're 5 points. They remain 5 points ahead. So Akanani saying, "I'm not watching, but how's the country been playing? Bad. I wouldn't say it's been phenomenal, but it hasn't been bad so far." Armenia saying they're playing so it's difficult to focus on one individual. Yeah, no, look, it's not gone well. Cameron Wright with the kickoff decides to go immediately to the boot, which is interesting. So we didn't see them actually go to the boot a lot during that first half. After Fassi, good take from him. Bit of a kicking chase here, so I'm pretty sure immediately I reckon there was a discussion at half time about kicking it a bit more given the fact that they barely kicked in the first half at all. BITDEFENDER on the bounce there, throwing it out to Kanya. Goes back inside, but his foot was in touch. Bit sloppy, that is, to be honest. Solid carry. Good work there being done. The ball carrier. He's blocked it before, but backwards apparently from Riley. Has quite gone to the front foot here. Going to the phase of Connacht. And that's almost a very good carry there from Sean O'Brien, the try scorer. And hand going himself. Slightly isolated, but support eventually arrives. A good tackle there. Making sure that Finley Beaton doesn't get too many yards. Byron Rawson's come inside to try and find a bit of work, but not managing to find anything. And I think it was an Orchard's gone down. Ball's come loose here, by the way. Been popped up to John Porch. And lost forward here from the Connacht. So BITDEFENDER now wants to get things going again. He sees a bit of space. So he's going himself, looking for options up towards the halfway line. Into Tukakunu. Doesn't pass often. Bounced off one. Eventually brought down. Cameron Wright going to Currie Bosch. Currie Bosch going to just play good hands here. The Kanya nice front foot pass there, not share. Up here, Deante goes inside to Cameron Wright. Cameron Wright inside to Werner Koch. Now that is a good try. That is the try we've been waiting for. That is brilliant rugby. Absolutely brilliant. Really, really good work. And it's a penalty. What? No, he's in front of the kicker. Oh, Cameron Wright, what have you done? What have you done? And that's been stolen from the Sharks. That's really, really good work. And Dylan Richardson's going all the way back. Managed to come away with it as well. Off he's going. He still goes, Dylan Richardson. Fiery customer. The hooker when he's in the mood. Which he's been in tonight. Or today. I suppose it was almost tonight. It's 6 o'clock. It's pretty much evening. Currie Bosch chip over the top. Had a lot of chase there. Francois Fender's ahead of the pack. Makes a good tackle as well. Byron Rawson going back to go pick up the loose ball. And a penalty from the Sharks. That's much better. Much, much better. BITDEFENDER taking this quickly. Not sure that's the right decision. He's going to be brought back. I think it's going to be a retake here at the line out. Was it a penalty here for Connacht? What's the decision here? No, it's going to be another line out, so the line's going to be reset. Can the Sharks win? You're watching the game. How's home support? It doesn't look like it's a bad crowd in there. I really like that restaurant, by the way. I think that is a phenomenal concept to go there, have a beer, pizza, and just have live rugby. Just chilling right in front of you. Sharks going to the Moore here. Dylan Richardson at the back. Penalty advantage here. Not sure this ball's going to come out. Cameron Wright goes digging. He goes to Chicken Noche. He's scored one so far tonight. Cameron Wright fires it out. Good take there from Francois Fenter. Back on the angle. Still going as Francois Fenter. Less than 5 meters out. Currie Bosch. Thrown into the hands of the Connacht player. I don't think I've asked you, but who do you look up to? Who inspired you to create Forever Sports? I wouldn't say that. I mean, there's a couple of channels, really. I mean, this was something that myself and my brother started years ago. The channel itself was kind of a COVID lockdown project. We kind of came across the football fan channels, for example. We saw what some people else were out there were doing. We looked at some of the cricket things, for example. We looked at basically a whole bunch of things. We looked at what was out there for rugby and stuff, and we tried a couple of different things, and we realized that there was no real offering in this sort of space for rugby, and so that's kind of where we started. And the idea was always just to be for the fans, by the fans, and that kind of thing, create fan relatable content for sports fans, and it's kind of, that was the genesis, I suppose, of the channel, and it's all kind of just kind of snowballed from there, really. Right, so Sharks took it quickly, by the way. Currie Bosch, and that's been knocked down. It's been knocked forward is the question. Knock-on advantage here for the Sharks. Cameron Wright fires out to Piwa Deontay right against the touchline. He stepped out. So no, they might actually look at this, to be honest, about for not sure what they're looking at here. So it's a penalty advantage anyway, so we'll go back for the penalty. I thought it was just a knock-on advantage, but it is a penalty advantage here for the Sharks. We're back for the penalty right in front of the poles. Decision time here for Francois Fenter. They had a penalty, they took it quickly, they didn't score. Does he want to have another go? A scrum, maybe? I'm seeing front rowers gathering, so I think we could be seeing a scrum here. Take it quickly once again from the Sharks. Or tap and go. We're able to take it quickly, but tap and go. Pesibu lazy, solid carry from him. Pick up and go from Emil van Heerden. They're right on the doorstep here are the Sharks. Pick up and go from Tukun. Has he found grounding? Is there grounding? Craig Evans is trying to find it. He's going to have a look here. He's going to have a look. And Tukun might have grounding here. Pick up and go. Has he got over there? I think he has, I don't see a Connacht hand under the ball there. I think he's over the line here. Decision time here. Yellow card, yeah. Yellow card for Connacht. And Oisin Darling's going into the sin bin. I think the try's been awarded, yeah. I couldn't really hear the referee. No, penalty. No try. But cynical there for Oisin Darling. So they've gone down to 14 men here, have Connacht. They're on the left-hand side, Joe, the Sharks. Good work there from them. Can they get along? Can they get along? Another advantage here, I tell you what. They kind of need to be a bit careful, yeah. Right, so yellow card, Jeff Connacht. They go out to Werner Koch, and he's looking at the referee. Thinking he might have been a forward pass, but in fact he's gone over. That was a bit weird. Well, Werner Cox. Well, I tell you what, he had a very good first half with Werner Cox, so I think he deserved that. To be fair. Yeah, you can see how he's looking at the referee, wondering if they might be ruled out. And when the referee says nothing, he then makes the sprint to get back inside, try and get it right underneath the poles. Right, Currie and Bosch now. In theory, we'll be able to keep the conversion, but they are having a conversation with the referee. I'm trying to see if I can try to hear it. No knock on. No, I think it's gonna be fine. I think the try is gonna stand, yeah. The try has stand, and Currie and Bosch is gonna add the extras, does add the extras, and the Sharks take the lead. I mean, very weird try there. Kick from the Kanya arm went like sideways, then it came off Varsity, then kicked it. Yeah, I mean, one of the weirdest tries you'll see in a while. But it's a score. It's a try. It is a try. That is the main thing. And still he had a card. So opportunity now for Sharks start hammering home that advantage. Deep restart there. Cameron Wright brings it to a Pira Dianti. Dianti kicks it back inside to Cameron Wright. Cameron Wright back to Pira Dianti. Good take from him. He's still got it. He puts it on his left boot, and I think he's kicked it straight into touch, unfortunately. Really good work, though, from the scrum half and wing. That's a bit more like it from the former World Breakthrough Player of the Year. Yeah, just the kick from Pierre Jatti on his left boot, just going straight out. Connacht line, they do contest the Sharks, but pretty poorly. Ball pops up to Riley, throws it back all the way to Hanrahan. He's been charged down and falls back to Ntuko Kuno, who's looking for a bit of space. Starts to straight and gives the ball inside to Sikabozinoche. Sikabozinoche goes himself into the 22. It was a high tackle. It was a high tackle. Penalty advantage. Currie Bosch. Options here for Currie Bosch. Goes himself. Pops it up to Kuni Oosthuizen, who hands off Halloran. And rolling is the call back to the penalty. And I would keep very much the pressure on you. I'd go to the corner. Very much go to the corner. Right, scrum here for the Sharks. Trying to make that advantage card, and they've not been able to because they conceded a scrum penalty. That is unforgivable. It's a huge amount for Connacht under a lot of pressure. But a huge, huge scrum that from the away side. Poor from the Sharks. Really need to make that count. And Cam Malcolm saying, hello Cam, saying, and Tunu playing on a different level here. Yeah, listen, he's had a lot of fun, ball in hand, a bit of space as well. He very much knows that Oxen Chair is ready to come back and take that spot to make himself out to drop. How many games does the team play in URC? I think it's about 18. You play every team in your conference twice, which is 6, plus you then play, 17, I think. But you then play everybody else once. I want to say it's 18 rounds, though. It is indeed 18 rounds, yeah. 18 rounds for quarterfinal, semi-final. Good read there. Good hands. And John Porsche doing very well to find a bit of space for himself. Inside ball there. And Ford carrying it up. Kind of still inside their own half here. A bit of space on the left-hand side, yeah. He delays the pass here. Numbers. Oh, Porsche should let that go, I think. Werner Koch has turned that over. That's brilliantly from Werner Koch. Goodness me. Up in the fast, he's a bit of space, so he's kicked this in behind. Now we've got a foot race. I'm waiting to see. Get up in the fast, he's appeared first, but Byron Woolston is going to manage to win that race. It's just short. It's the right idea. Up in the fast here, and yeah, if the ball had bounced the different direction, he would have been in here. Bounced towards Byron Woolston. Giannis looked a lot better today. A lot better. He's had more ball in hand, which I think is what has been frustrating me the last couple of weeks. Is you've got this player who's coming back from, and I think especially coming back from a 4-year sabbatical. You know, he needs time to find his best. So give him the ball. You know, let him make mistakes. Let him get some of the rust out of his system. But he's looked today a bit more like the player that we saw a couple of years ago. Very interested to see if we're going to be talking about Pierre Dianti in the Springbok conversation in 6 months' time. Really, really hope we are. It was such a cool player to watch. Dan said, can the Stormers win it later? It'll be tough. It'll be tough for them to win it. The Sharks are winless in their last 8 URC fixtures against Irish provinces, including a 22-all draw at home to Munster last April. I remember that, actually. I think it was tricky conditions as well. I remember being quite wet. John Plumtree there. Couple of young Sharks fans. Right, long break and play. Yeah, it will be a goal line dropout, I believe, when they restart, if we ever get a restart here. Currie and Bosch goes inside. Yeah, it's basically lazy. He just takes. Oh, it's a good tackle. He's still going, it's basically lazy. That's what I like about him. He's very, very good on the contact. He always keeps working through the contact. Right, the Kanya puts into the go in behind. Pierre Dianti's chasing Halloran hard. He's got a lot of work to do. The Kanya comes across. Very good work from the outside centre. A lot of pressure being put on Halloran. That's a really intelligent kick in behind from Pierre Dianti. Now, a very slow ball here for Ryan. He's been told to use it. Goes to the box kick. It's a very good kick. He's kicked so well from that position so far. So it has Riley. It's just past the 22, so it wasn't as good as initially thought, but still not bad. Dun, 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 dun. Good take that from Milton Hayden, and Penn Fenter fires out to Cameron Wright, first receiver. That's been brilliantly picked up from Kanyam. Gone through the hands. And was there a block on there? No, they still play. Cameron Wright almost through the gap. Everybody almost stopped playing there. Good take there from up there, Rassie. Slow ball available here. Pierre Dianti whips it out to Noche. Not the best pass here. Just need to go back to your ad. And that ball's going to be lost forward, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it does appear that the side of the Connacht, pretty poor there, must be honest. And that'll be the last opportunity they'll have the numerical advantage. And Hanrahan finds touch, and that will be the end of the yellow card as Sheen Dining will make way back onto the park. So just a 2-point advantage at the moment so far for the Sharks. Good take that from me up here. Lions looked a lot better in the second half. Popping it up from Francois Fenter to Sikimozi Noche, who's carried well so far. Cameron Wright fires to Kern Bosch. Pops to Pierre Dianti, just as I've been singing his praise, spills that forward. That's really poor. That's a couple of replacements here from Connacht there. A couple of replacements. I lie. They brought on the entire bench in the last few minutes. And that's a horrible clean out and penalised forward. Right, so Hawkshaw came on at half time. We mentioned that. Colin Blade on now as well. Seamus Hurley Langton is on. Darry Murray, apparently, yeah, according to Raypass here. I'm trying to confirm all of that. It does look like it. So, yeah, so Andrew Smith obviously came off earlier. Cathal Ford's been replaced by David Hawkshaw. Not finding touch, though, Connacht found the penalty. That's a really big mistake. Alrighty, who this one says is off, is very much still on, I think. Right, Varsity goes to the left side to Currie. Currie wants to run this, steps away from Riley. Runs into Ocean Down. He's pretty fresh after that time in the bin. And no sharp substitutes as far as I can work out here. Francois Fender goes to Werner Koch, who bounces off Porsche and then spins back inside Werner Koch. Good work from him. Now on Tuka Kunu. And a penalty for the Sharks. False release, and then didn't, basically, is the summary of that. That's as I said, I've been impressed by the line out so far. Then all of a sudden, we go straight to the hands, and the Connacht go all the way down the right hand side, and Halloran kicks to the head. And Byron Ralston's gone very well to get that back. Knocked on in the process. I was about to say that would have been mental if you managed to do that. Right, sorry, let's go have a look at some of the comments earlier. Danston saying, the Sharks score and convert, the pressure will be on Connacht. Spoon, of course, he playing. No, he's not a contractor at the Sharks. Zombie Viking Gaming says, you would think they'd take a leap forward this season. Are they still missing players to come back? I mean, they are. A lot. They've actually got a lot of injuries, to be fair to them. But still, on paper, a good side. And... That's going to restep from the scrum, yeah. 18 minutes to go. I feel like Sharks have almost got this in the bag in terms of momentum. They've got the momentum here, so I think that were they to lose, I'd say that this would be a really bad game to lose. I feel like they got the momentum. They've got the ascendancy here, but they're one penalty away from potentially losing this. So, yeah, I think the big thing is for the Sharks, you've got to try and score at least one more try. Maybe get a penalty. But to stay in this, to really start to actually, I think, start hit home a bit of an advantage. Over 100 people watching. Good to see people back on the URC train here, by the way. Let me know if you're new. I saw one new subscriber. So if you are a new subscriber, go and chuck your comment in the chat and introduce yourself to the lovely community. A lot of regulars in the chat tonight. Deep kick they came from the Sharks. Again, that's a good tactic. It's about playing territory now when you've got the lead with the dying stages of the game. 17 minutes, still long time to play. Oh, that's a very fortunate bounce. Away from Cameron Wright, but towards Currie Oosthuizen. Francois Fenter, the captain. Now, that is a replacement. Try to see if there's any other replacements. Pierre Gianti comes inside looking for work here. But that is Jean-Louis Labuschagne, I think, who just carried that ball. I think it was the number 19. Looks like him. Well, put it this way. It's not Tino Mavasera, so it must be Labuschagne. Let's see who's on. Cameron Wright chips over the top. Francois Fender called it. Francois Fender is going to bounce away from him. And now it could be a counter attack here. Ball back along the ground. Not pretty fast. Yeah, it is fast. He lets that go. Now hammers it down the right or down the middle of the park. Asking Connacht to make a move here is Apple Fassi. Hanrahan returns the favour. Cameron Wright gives it to Currie Bosch. Currie Bosch. I think he sees a bit of space on the left hand side. There's a bit of space, but he's been caught and he's very isolated here. So I reckon this could be penalty. It is a penalty. Silly that from Currie Bosch. I saw the space he was trying to go. See, he saw a Pierre Gianti on the outside, but he had to look for that pass. Had to look for the pass. Didn't. Got caught, got isolated. Penalty for Connacht. This is what I'm saying, that this game is still there for the taking for Connacht. Zombie Viking says earlier, on paper, the worst Irish and the worst South African team. Come on! The Lions are being considered the worst South African team. Missed the first half, hasn't lived up to expectation. There has been some decent rugby. And then been some very sloppy rugby. I think it's quite wet, based on what the field looks like and some of the handling earlier. Daniel saying, can the Sharks score again to seal the game? I mean, it's by no means a bad team so far this season, 100%. I do think that some people have underestimated them. That's why do I get the feeling Sharks will mess up? And Zombie Bike Gary said, neither Connacht nor Sharks are bad teams, but Connacht have always been the weakest Irish side. There was a pair that did well, but it was very brief. Fair. I think it's very fair, actually. Taking the points here, by the way. So this could be Connacht kicking themselves back into the lead. No, don't come justifying your only saying pay because of injuries. No. We said it. We've now all agreed on it, and on paper, Lions better. I know what you mean. Don't worry. It's a good looking kick. It's a good looking kick. Sliding onto the left hand side. Yeah, it's through. Well, I don't think Fassi agreed with that. He was shouting at the assistant. But J.J. Hanrahan has said, thank you very much. You guys want to make a mistake? We'll take the 3 points, and Sharks now trail by a point. Right, Rowan Janssen from Rensburg onto the park. I think the Sharks should have put their bench on a while ago, to be honest. Well, almost a bit of a fumble there coming from Hawkshaw. Right, a couple of subs here, I think, for the Sharks. Waiting for this to be updated. But I'm seeing Labuschagne on there. Honor Jacobs is on. Right, Janssen from Rensburg is on. Bosch once again wants to run. Didn't end up well the last time he did, and he's going to get bumped into touch. You'd think you learn. You'd think you learn. And it's going to make it to the referee. That'll be a scrum. which will suit Connacht, actually. They'll be able to run the clock down a bit. Just as Currie Bosch, Sharks won't get anywhere with him at 10. Well, they've got Sia Masuku, who we've yet to see so far. So when do we get to see him play? Right, scrum now for Connacht. As we enter basically the last 10 minutes. Good carry that. That's the Sharks are really my... Right, deep restart there from Blade. Varsity good underneath the high ball there and managing to get away from the incoming defender as well. But Sharks all the way back inside their own half. Pepsi Buthelezi. Ryan Jasper Rensburg is there. It's a very good tackle as well. First involvement there from the number 23. Good pressure this on the Sharks, trying to find their way back into Connacht territory. Again, a penalty would do it for them. And Currie Bosch is a very capable goal kicker. What a take that is from my player fast. He's been really good under the high ball tonight. And a penalty advantage as well, so that's going to work out nicely for the Sharks. Arno Jacobs put a Chamberlain onto the park now as well, by the way. Ryan Jans van Rensburg. Nice carry from him. James Fenter past the 10-meter line. Coming right, goes to put a chain and chip over the top for the Kanya to chase. Ball is away. He's put it into his boots again in the Kanya right into the 22. That's been worked really well. That's really good. And the Kanya wants to take it quickly. And that's really, really, really good work from the Kanya. Good pace actually being shown by him, which is good to see. Got there first, kicked to the head, was never going to stay in, and Keelan Blade had to take it out. But then Larry on the ball, and Peswood later, I think, was asking for a penalty, basically saying, you know, it wouldn't have been made massive amount of difference. They'd only gained another meter or two. Conference here between Sukumoze Noche, Buddha Chamberlain, Ryan Jans van Rensburg, Lekanyam. So I think we're going to see about a 5-man line-out here. Yeah, penalty, and it's inside the 22. And well back inside. So that's very, very, very good work there from Lekanya. And Lekanya saying, no, take the points, take the points. I think he is the captain now, because I think Francois Fenter has been replaced. I don't know if Pepsi Buthelezi is, in fact, officially taken over the reins. But they are going to take the 3 points here, the Sharks. Right, we're going to be live for the Stormers game, by the way, which kicks off in half an hour's time. So make sure you do come and join us that side. Should be a very interesting game. Munster versus Stormers, the repeat of the... And he's missed it. Oh my, Kerwin Bosch, how have you missed that, mate? That is absolute... Sorry, it's not Kerwin Bosch, Buddha Chamberlain. Kerwin Bosch is off. That is absolutely dreadful from Buddha Chamberlain. If they lose this now... What's that call now? He's called for a TMO here. I'm not quite sure for what. Just says Buddha Chamberlain looks like he likes to stay well done. I don't know why he signaled TMO there, but anyway, we have the 22 dropout. Big moment that from Buddha Chamberlain. Not a good one either. Buddha Daisy now needs to try and get his side back into the Connacht territory, find another penalty. Z and Kabela as well. The experienced, that is really experienced scrum half. Buddha Chamberlain to Werner Koch. They go into the 10 meter line. That's good work. Flat ball here for Hanno Jacobs. Ranyas from Rensburg, and that's not forward from Dylan Richardson. Turnover ball here from Connacht with 6 minutes to go. Slow ball, yeah, from Keaton Blade. To the right hand side he goes. Knock back with knock on another knock on, yeah, from the Sharks. Now Hanrahan kicks it in behind. Buddha Chamberlain. Yeah, I tell you, it's a bit games on a knife edge here. On a knife edge, as they say. That's you still say Sharks are winning my day. Just said they had plenty of chance to take the 3 throughout the game. Yeah, I think this is some poor game management, to be honest. I think they had every right, every opportunity, and every chance to win this game. And at this stage, they're going to lose by 1 point unless they can find something. Zombie Viking Gaming saying New Zealand and Australia is a further travel away than Italy, Ireland, or Wales. Surely, if it's an excuse, it's better suited for Super Rugby. Yeah, I mean, we haven't traveled well to Europe. I think the conditions are very different to what we're used to. But I don't think that's a valid excuse. I think we've not been doing it for long enough now that, you know, you can't really argue that point. Now, Connacht, penalty advantage, yeah, from the Rolling Moore, yeah. Not looking good, Jeff, for the Sharks. And they go with a cross kick with the penalty advantage. And that's straight into touch.
Some of these Sharks players for results that they've got to this point this season, they know the situation.
And now they're going to go to the corner here, Connacht. Time really running out now for the Sharks. Good work there. Connacht now. Connacht score, it's over, by the way. That's the big thing, yeah. Good carry that. Good tackle. One mistake here. Oh, well, it's been knocked forward. Jeff and Connacht will be turnover ball here for the Sharks. But they're all the way inside Connacht territory. Buddha Chamberlain sees a bit of space. Chips down the right-hand side. Let's come away to upper lane of Fussy. Fussy kicks it back inside. Very good work there from Hawkshaw. Connacht back inside their own half. And the ball's come loose. Not gone onto touch though. Keelan Blade has then kicked it into touch. So it will be a Sharks down on the halfway line. Good take there from Slaviskakny. Zim Kabela goes to Ranyans van Rensburg. And that's been knocked on, I think. And that's been knocked on. That is dreadful. Deserved to lose, actually. To be honest, deserved to lose based on that. That has been an absolute dreadful last 10 minutes from the Sharks. Horrible, 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 horrible. Oh my goodness, 5 in a row. 5 losses in a row. It could be panic stations here at the Sharks. "30 seconds left. Yeah, you got to think that this is probably gone. Penalty for Connacht. That's it. The Sharks have lost. Oh my goodness, that is terrible. Absolutely terrible. A travelling Connacht have beaten the Sharks at home. The Sharks 5 from 5 losses. That is horrendous. It must be said. Right, people. We're going to hand you over. I'm going to send you across to the Stormers stream, which will be starting in about 10 minutes time. So we'll see you guys over there. In the meantime, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Sharks go down in an absolute crisis, it must be said. And where to from here is a very good question. You can see the look of disappointment on the player's face. It's not going well. But yeah, Stormers